Welcome to Finding Certainty with your host and U.S. Army veteran, Patrick Laing. Over the next hour, you'll learn from Patrick and his expert guests how to attract more certainty into your business and your life. Now, here is your host, Patrick Laing.
Good morning and welcome to Finding Certainty. Another beautiful Friday morning. I'm actually in Dallas myself for a big meeting later today, but I heard we had a monsoon come through Las Vegas. I missed out on it, right, Deanna?
Yes, it did. It was very beautiful, though. Beautiful rain.
Started about 5:30. We definitely need the water, don't we?
We do. Yeah, totally.
I'm very pleased to introduce my guest today, Deanna Rivera. She's an accomplished musician, artist, producer, actor. I mean, the list goes on and on. Deanna, you've done a lot in your I should say short life. You're not that old, but you do have 6 children, so you've definitely accomplished some incredible things in your life. I'm really looking forward to visiting with you today and getting to know you a little bit better.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. I am very excited for this.
Well, we're excited to hear from you, hear your story, and talk about some really important topics today. So, I always start out my show by sharing a couple of reasons why I've invited this specific guest to be on Finding Certainty. And in Deanna's case, she brings some very important perspectives to the show. First and foremost, she is Hispanic. She's a Latin artist. And so she has some unique perspectives as both an artist, a producer, an actor, and so forth. And also perspectives from the Hispanic community, which is, who you are, and it runs through your veins, your roots, your music. I mean, it's beautiful, and really looking forward to hearing some of your insights from that side of the perspective and that side of the story. So, secondly, though, Deanna, in addition to being just an accomplished artist and a highly respected musician, producer, and so forth, she also has a really big heart. And she and her husband, Ethan, who were developing a really neat friendship, I'm getting to know both of them well, they are giving back in a number of different ways, both helping aspiring artists move up in the Latin music industry and giving back in their communities. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is close to both of our hearts, and that is the anti-trafficking efforts out there being spearheaded by organizations like Operation Underground Railroad and A2 and Polaris and others. So again, Deanna, thanks for being here this morning. Looking forward to our chat. So why don't we start out by you telling a little bit of your story as an artist? How did you get into music? I know you've been singing since you were about 3 years old and performing for family and friends. And I think very quickly people realized you had both a passion for the art and a talent for it. Tell us a little bit about who is Deanna Rivera and how did you get to where you are today?
Well, I started at a very young age. I had this passion. I think I started when I was 2.5, 3 years old. My dad says that at a very young age, I started to grab, the bottles of ketchup and singing all over the house and looking up to my favorite artists. There was this very famous singer back in the day, Pedro Infante, which was big in ranchero music. And I was very excited every time he was on the news or on movies. And it was a big inspiration for me. And my dad is very artistic too. And of course, our culture, we have a lot of music, a lot of dance. And I got into folklore, which you have to represent every state in your country. So I was able to dance for 15 years in the folklore area, and I loved it. And that brought me to musicals and then acting. And it was a hobby. My dad didn't let me think of this career as, as a job. he said I needed to have a career. They're teachers, so and our family is, full of lawyers and doctors. So it was like, this is not a career, it's just a little hobby. So I still loved it. I was very excited, and I stopped when I was in high school, and I said, you know what, I think I do want to do something else. I want to be a mother. I want to have a family. I always have this passion for babies, to take care of them, to nurture them, to be, to hold them. I went through a lot of things when I was young, and that made me be more, inspired and wanted to take care of little kids, So yeah, that's a little bit of my story. It's long.
There's lots more to it, I'm sure, but you do. I talk about Diana's heart, whether it's being a mother to combined between you and your husband. You have 6 children between the two of you, and helping these artists come up and through the ranks. I mean, it's you're kind of mothering them, right? You're like the mother hen with them under your wings, and trying to guide and direct them and help them achieve their potential. Whether it's as parents or as mentors, as business owners, it seems like we're always trying to raise up the next generation, help protect them, and help them achieve their potential, right?
Yes.
I mean, I have 5 children. I understand. I married a widow with 3 children, 4, 3, and 1 when we got married, and we have 2 boys together. And now they're 25 to 17, so they're not babies anymore, but they grow up fast. But you talked about ranchero music. For those listeners who don't understand that, do you mind explaining what ranchero is? Because I think understanding the fabric of your music, and you talk about representing each of your states. There's so much pride, and there's just layers in the tapestry of Hispanic music, Latin music, and not just your industry, but your culture. I absolutely love it. I lived in Italy for several years. I learned Italian, then I started studying Spanish. I've been to Mexico many times. And I just am drawn to the Latin American culture and music. There's so much life in it, and you are a great example of that. So do you mind just defining what you mean by ranchero?
Well, ranchero music is, I think, the most traditional music in the Mexican culture. This music goes back to 400 years ago, when the slaves, the native people, were trying to find ways to create, to find happiness and joy through going through all this, like, the settlers were taking over, raping kids. I don't know if I can say that word, raping people, taking their culture away. So for them, they have to figure out a way to keep it together. And it's a beautiful story. I wish we had more time to go through that, but this is a way for them to create some happiness. Right. And then the slaves were only allowed to use this charro. I think everybody knows what a charro hat is. And actually, the charro word was for only the slaves. So this guy gets very, very proud of wearing this hat. And then he finds his friends that are trying to do some music, and he brings together the trumpets, and he brings together the guitars, and then they just create this beautiful music together. And through generations and centuries, ranchero music became the signature for Mexicans, the signature for our culture. So it's a beautiful story.
I agree. I mean, every story has layers, right? There's tragedies, there's successes and triumphs, and I think that music creates an identity for communities. You talk about signature. I think that's a great word, but I think of an identity. I think of it's the heartbeat of the community, right? I think of R&B with African American or hip hop, and even the old Black spirituals, right? Where they had their music that they sang, even when they were in slavery. that drew the community together, gave them an identity, a signature, a heartbeat, a way to express both their joys and their pains, right? And you made a point I want to touch on, if I may. You talked about how you've been dancing for 15 years. And anyone who watches Diana's videos, she's moving with the music. She's not just standing there singing. I mean, you are a true entertainer, because you just have this innate ability to go with the music and the rhythm and draw the audience in. I think that's why when you were performing full time, I know you're retired now largely as a performer, but I think that's why you had so many fans and so many just diehard fans that would come to your concerts and just really enjoy them, because you are a true entertainer. And I think that's one of the reasons you're able to mentor these younger artists so well, because you've been there, done that one, but you really understand it. Is that a fair statement?
I mean, yeah, like I said, coming from two teachers, my parents, both of them were teachers, and they also had this passion for helping and, like you said, parenting kids, not just their own kids, but parenting all these children. And I always look up to them, both of them, my dad and my mom, both of them very artistic in all kinds of different ways. I think I don't know if I have enough to describe how much they also have. But they were, and still to this day, my mom passed away 20 years ago. So she's a very big influence in my life, and the folklore part, and then the music, and it's just it puts all these things together, because it comes with art is emotion, it's heart, it's your spirit, your soul, and like you mentioned before, going through these hard times, I think when people has hope, we bring and raise up these emotions of love and hope and thinking about the future. So bringing music together and art together makes us feel better about who we are as human beings. And then it changes the history too. Through history, R&B, it's a beautiful way to also represent all the suffering from slavery. And so I think every culture has a way to express through art. And I love having the art side and the parenting side, like helping artists to come up to the light and then cheer them up too. Sometimes for some communities, it's way harder to get opportunities. We call the gatekeeping, and then it gets difficult to have opportunities or to get to places, and it always touches my heart. So I try my best. I've been doing it for probably 10 years already, and it always, when we're done and it's over, I feel like a little piece of my soul got a little bigger. So it's like, I want more. I need to get it bigger and bigger.
Right. It reminds me of that old Christmas movie, when the Grinch stole Christmas, right? And his heart gets bigger. And I think many parents, talking about being a mother, we wonder if we're going to have our second child, can we love them as much as the first one? Or are we going to have to divide our love between them? And that's not how it works. You double your love or even triple it, right? And I think the same thing goes with mentoring and coaching and being a teacher. If you truly approach it as you want to serve and love and support these kids, you just can't get enough of it. I mean, it becomes addictive, I think, to give back in that way. And you and Ethan are such great examples of that. I know you're a power team, and it's not one or the other. It's the Diana Ethan 1-2 punch, I guess, is a good way to say it, right?
We're totally. We had so many people. We've been doing everything together. Our business. We work out together. We're pretty much. I don't think you can see Ethan by himself and us. We're Diana, and then same with Diana. Where's Ethan? We are, people call us power couple, and different ways. And we complement each other. Like, I mean, we're a whole. That's what we always talk about. Like, we're two different people, and we're whole, but we make it bigger.
Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, Patrick, I wish people find that, like finding that person that helps you grow, that helps you better, that helps you to become a better human being. Most of the times we have, I hear it from friends and they're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to look for a break because I need a break from my wife or my husband. And like, it must be hard. It must be hard. Like, I think finding the right person and the one that helps you to be better and to complement yourself in a way, and growing, it's difficult. So we do enjoy our time together, and we always trying to find a way to help people in a lot of different ways. We have our children, like, following our steps. So we are trying. We're not perfect. We are not perfect at all, but we do try. We do try to show them the meaning of a good heart, of humanity, of hope, of love for each other. And it's a hard work, a lot of work, because you have to work
it is
more than anything.
You do, and it is a work in progress. I don't think anyone's perfect. You guys are a great example of people who are certainly trying and making that effort. And, from the very minute I first met you two, I was impressed by the fact that you are, you're different in ways, but you complement each other and you're complementary to each other. And to your point, I don't think it's a question of finding the right person. I mean, sure, we want to find that who's our somebody, right? Who's our person, but I think it's more an effort and a question of putting in the time and the effort and the sacrifice and the hours and hours and days and years to become that couple, right? Most people give up. They're selfish, or they're self-centered, or focused, or lazy, or I want to break from my husband. Well, or my wife, how about go on a date and or serve them, or
right?
spend some time together and make it a relationship that you want to be a part of more. So many of us are waiting for someone else to fix it, and if we all just focused on how can I best serve this person, put them first. Exactly. If we were both doing that, right, amazing things, extraordinary things happen. I see that in you too. So you guys are a great example of that. But
we'll try.
So we're coming up on our first break. I told you this is going to go by really fast, but we're visiting with Diana Rivera. She is a musician, an artist, an actress, an actor, a producer, a mentor, a philanthropist. I mean, the list goes on, right? But we're visiting with Diana, and we're going to talk about a topic, as I said, that hits really close to home. I'm talking about being a philanthropist and giving back. I know this area of child slavery and child trafficking, whether it's as a mother or just as a person, it's something we need to talk about. And so as soon as we come back from the break, we're going to get into what's happening out there and what we can do to help. It's a critical issue, so don't go away.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Certainty Management can help create more certainty in your life with our deep discount health insurance options, even for 1099s, part-time employees, volunteers, and more. Pay less to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your team. Call 888-684-3122 for a free quote today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at CertaintyTeam.com. That's Certainty, TEAM, like Mary.com.
If you're a nonprofit in need of funding, we can help. Certainty Management is a cost reduction firm that also helps churches, schools, sports teams, and other nonprofits raise unlimited zero-cost funding. Best of all, you don't have to sell anything or ask for donations. Call 888-684-3122 to learn more today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at CertaintyTeam.com. That's Certainty, Team, like Mary.com.
When it comes to business, you'll find the experts here. Voice America Business Network.
You are listening to Finding Certainty with Patrick Laing. Have a question for Patrick or his guests? Join us on the show at 866-472-5790. That's 866-472-5790. Now, back to the show with Patrick.
Welcome back to Finding Certainty. We are visiting with Diana Rivera. As you've heard, if you've been with us, she's an artist, a musician, a producer. She and her husband, Ethan, are actually producing a full-length motion picture as we speak.
Yes.
Do you have a title for the film yet, Diana, or are you still working on that?
So we have the title. We do not, we have to go through.
You haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, we haven't announced it yet because we have to go through, production is difficult, and then we have to get approved for everything. So we have some things in mind, but we're not allowed to share it yet. But it's gonna be amazing. We're very excited.
Well, production, film, all of it has it has the ability to send a message in a very big way. And, you and I met because of our connection through a friend of ours. I'll give a shout out to Robert Reynolds out there and John Gruitt, who introduced us. And Robert was impressed with your comments and your thoughts and your feelings regarding the film Sound of Freedom. It was the movie that came out on 4th of July that tells the story of Tim Ballard, the founder of Operation Underground Railroad. And I know you were already passionate about child trafficking, anti-sex trafficking and child slavery and trying to help raise awareness and so forth. But this film was just one more catalyst, and it's a big one. It's one of the top grossing films of the summer. It's going international now. I mean, I'm so thrilled to see that happening because it's really helped give the cause and the movement a big loudspeaker.
Yeah.
I know when you shared your video, you did a couple of things that were unique and I think are worth mentioning, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot.
No problem.
First, you did a video for both the English and the Hispanic markets, right? And you did it. My hotel phone is ringing in the background here. It's hard doing a call when you're on the road.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
First they knocked on my door, and now they're calling. But you did a couple things. Your husband said you've got to do the video right now, right?
Yeah.
Because he says your audience needs to hear the emotion. They need to see it. And you did it in English and you did it in Spanish. You got thousands and thousands of views and thousands of likes, and it says something. But you did two things that I think are important. Number one, you were vulnerable and open. You weren't private about it. You didn't try to be all professional and edit it and so before you load it. You just put it out there. It was raw, unedited, and real, right?
Yeah.
And that's a very important point, because this topic is raw and it's real and it's a dark subject. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. They want to ignore it and pretend like it's not happening. I mean, our children are actually being kidnapped, and there's, child rape videos being posted by the millions. And, we just want to pretend like it's not there and it'll maybe go away, right? Well, that's not going to happen. Another thing that you did, though, is you did it in English and Spanish. it's one of the reasons you're on this show today, and why why we talk all the time now, because I think the crossover is so important. I think we need to understand that this topic touches all of us. It's not a Hispanic issue or a Caucasian issue or a black or white, or it is a universal problem. Yeah. And we all need to start talking about it. So any thoughts on that topic, Diana?
Oh, well, this is a very sensitive topic, of course, for me as a mother, as I'll say survivor of the same problem. I was in ever traffic, but I went through a lot of things. And then I know that the statistics show that mostly women and young kids are very sensitive to this. So, of course, it touches my heart in a lot of ways. And like bringing awareness and talking to people about this matter is difficult. It is very difficult. People, not because they don't want to care about it, it's also because people are very afraid to feel vulnerable, and their comfort is wonderful, so thinking about these problems, trying to find ways to help will take that comfort away, and you're gonna have to go out of your way to help, and I think it's more like they're afraid to be heartbroken, and they're afraid to understand why still. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, no, it's actually, that was back on the day. Like, no, it actually got worse in the last 10 years, especially 5 years from now. It's been crazy. I think it went up to 5,000% or more than that. Right. So that means that we, blinding ourselves is not helping. It's actually getting bad. And it's as we speak right now, Patrick, is 2 children every minute being trafficked. And
it's incredible. Isn't that just horrific?
That doesn't shake your heart or make you like I get goosebumps every time I get it. I don't want to talk about it because it makes me cry, or it makes me feel sad and then angry and then confused, but it's happening while you're having lunch, or you're at work, or taking your children to the park. And I go to the park, and then I sit by the grass watching my child, and then I see kids running around by themselves, and parents are all the way to the corner. They're not even paying attention, and it gets my mind going, like, what are you doing? Yeah. So when I decided to make the video, my husband, I don't know how to explain what he does with me. And I think both of us, we do this to each other, but he's my biggest fan. He always says that he's my biggest fan, and he's always wants to share a little bit of he sees, and the closed doors. He's like, I want people to see who you really are, because they might know you, that you're a good person, but they haven't seen the full version of you, like this heart of yours that, so he pushed me, and he's like, you got to do it right now. And I was like, but I'm crying. I'm crying. I have to edit it. It's like, don't edit anything. Just post it and just, let it go. It's going to go viral. I promise you. It's like, I don't care about going viral, but I was already posting videos a month ago before the movie came out. Because as a Latina and Mexican, the director is Mexican, the producer is Mexican, and they have a very, the producer, Eduardo Verástegui, I was a big fan of him a long time ago. He started his career 20 years ago, 25 years ago as an actor. So for me, having someone from my country bringing this matter and then putting all these things together and knowing all the things they had to go through, he had to quit this company that he used to work in Mexico, which is a lot of human trafficking and child, trafficking involved too. So he left this place, and then he started to do this movie and putting all these things together. So I was very proud of it. Like, I know there was a lot of people like, well, he's he's this, he's done that, but now he's doing better. He's trying to be a better person, and he's showing this. He's doing it. So I was sharing videos about this upcoming movie, Sound of Freedom, like a month before. And I did have people being, proud of their culture and be like, oh yeah, let's Mexicans, we're killing it, And it's not about the culture, it's not about race, it's not about. But I was, excited that a Mexican producer finally decided to come up with this and be like,
Right.
you don't see that. There's a lot of movies already. There's a lot of documentaries, but not as big as this movie
No.
happened to be.
This one has been such a great success. And I think it's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's really well done. I mean, if you haven't seen the film, you need to go see it. Take your kids, take your significant other, tell your friends. It's still in theaters, but it's not going to be there forever. It's been out since July 4th already. It's almost a month and a half, which is something, or almost 2 months now. Which is something about how good it is. Most movies do not stay in the theater more than maybe a week or two. And so that's the first thing, is it is really well done. And it's not graphic. It's not, it's something you could take your kids to and then talk about after. But I think secondly, the message is really important that we understand that this is happening all around us. Now, what's embarrassing and shameful is that the biggest producers of child pornography and the biggest perpetrators of child trafficking and child rape are from the United States. They're American, right? And where kids may be being trafficked all over the world, the biggest appetite for that, and it's horrific to think about, but is from America. And so if we didn't have that appetite, if we could control and stem the growing tide of pornography and prostitution and other things that lead to these problems, I think we'd be doing an enormous service to our country, to our children, and so forth. But I know you have some interesting perspectives. I think they're really important to mention about how the Hispanic community and culture is a beautiful thing. And sometimes it gets blamed or it gets cast in a light that, well, this is where this is coming from. There may be kids being trafficked. There may be challenges, but there is so much beauty and vibrancy and depth in the Hispanic culture. The music is just one element of that. I mean, the food, the people, the energy, the art, and so I think it's really important we understand, one, where this problem has come from. It is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world. It's past the arms trade. It will pass the drug trade eventually. I mean, you can sell a bag of cocaine once. You can sell a child multiple times a day. And it is devastating to even think about. I love your husband because he's very passionate about this topic, and he and I have had some great conversations, you and he and I, and he says, look, if we don't speak up, who will, right? If we stay silent, we are perpetuating this problem as much as we are, even as though we were the pornographer ourselves. We were the perpetrator ourselves. If we don't pick a side, and put our feet firmly on the side of anti-trafficking, anti-slavery, anti-child rape videos, if we don't do that, are we any better off than the people that are actually perpetrating these crimes? I think he's absolutely right. And when we criticize those who are making an effort, we might disagree with their approach. We might think that, well, he's trying to be a white savior, or they're trying to sensationalize it, or this movie isn't exactly how it is. We are doing damage to an effort that we should be completely and 100% in support of, and not nitpick the different approaches and styles and so forth. I mean, I think it's really important, anyone who's listening to this, that you understand that point. Which side are you on? And do you support it? Are you going to try to make it more difficult? Do you have any thoughts on that, my friend?
Oh, Patrick, I do believe that, like I said, the ignorance of people keeps them asleep, and that topic of the Latinos, I had a lot of Latinos going to my page and talking back to me and being disrespectful about me supporting white QAnon people, and why I'm on the white people's side, if that they're making Latinos look like the bad guys. And so I am very open about, hearing different sides, and something that I try to educate people about, especially my culture. US, it is the number one producer of child pornography and the number one consumer of child trafficking. We have a problem in Latin America, which is the tourism, sexual tourism down there. We have a lot of people that don't understand how this human trafficking works, so they don't pay attention to that. So there is a demand here, but there is the trafficking there. So there's no good and bad guys. Who is doing what? So you as Latino trying to minimize what we're doing, looking up to the race, you have a big problem. It's not about color. It's not about religion. It's not about your political background. It's not about any of those ideals, because they're only ideals, Patrick. We're human. We're people. So if you're thinking about your culture more than saving children, you have a problem. If you're thinking about your political party before children, you have a problem. And most people are fighting about this silly things that happen, and they make no sense to me. It's like, so you guys are looking at the wrong things. You're not looking at the problem, actually. There's always something that has nothing to do and make no sense when you're trying to take away the hard work, because it was hard for 5 years. They had this movie being held by all this, corrupted corporates, because they knew if it comes up, there's going to be a lot of things that we are not run to, a lot of problems, right? Because people are going to wake up. It has been. I meet people every day, like at work, at this place that I work, I met thousands and thousands of people a week. And they're all over the place. People from Europe, people from the States. Like, there's a lot of tourists that I meet. They all know about this movie, and they're all very passionate about it. So there's a very few people that are trying to make it look like it's a bad thing. It's a white savior movie. It's this and that. It's like, you guys don't know the story behind it. They don't understand how the production works. They don't understand how, sharing your story with the production company works either. So it's not that they're making the millions, like, oh, you are. It's not, people think, oh, they're all now millionaires. They don't need our help. No, you don't understand how this works. This money doesn't go to them. It goes to the investors. It goes to the patrons that put money to make this movie, to make money back. And it could be anyone. It's not, only saviors. It's all kinds of people that want it and see money. So they see a way to make more money. So they put the money there. Right. They had this guy, he was one of the investors. I think he donated $100, and they make it a big deal on the news. He's one of the investors of Sound of Freedom. And I went and did a video again. I was like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. The ignorance, what do you have in your brain? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not thinking about children now.
You're absolutely right. We've got to take another break here. But I want to come back and hit on a couple of points you made. And the time is passing fast. So don't go away, everybody. We will be right back.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
If you're a nonprofit in need of funding, we can help. Certainty Management is a cost reduction firm that also helps churches, schools, sports teams, and other nonprofits raise unlimited zero-cost funding. Best of all, you don't have to sell anything or ask for donations. Call 888-684-3122 to learn more today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at CertaintyTeam.com. That's Certainty, T-E-A-M, like Mary.com.
Certainty Management can help create more certainty in your life with our deep discount health insurance options, even for 1099s, part-time employees, volunteers, and more. Pay less to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your team. Call 888-684-3122 for a free quote today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at CertaintyTeam.com. That's Certainty, T-E-A-M, like Mary.com.
Voice America Business Network, the bottom line in business.
You're listening to Finding Certainty with Patrick Laing. Have a question for Patrick or his guests? Join us on the show at 866-472-5790. That's 866-472-5790. Now, back to the show with Patrick.
Welcome back to Finding Certainty. We're visiting with Deanna Rivera, and we're talking about a topic that's very dear to her heart. It's a really important subject for us and my team here at Finding Certainty and Certainty Management, and that is anti-sex trafficking, especially of children. Sure. We're visiting over the break. If you're watching the YouTube video version, you can hear a little bit of our conversation with a caller from Arizona named Amelia. She was sharing with us some insights into her experience. She was homeless for a while. She saw things happening with the border where literally the government was grooming kids, taking children away in the middle of the night, and so forth and so on. And so I think Amelia, just because we're short on time here, we should probably talk about having you on the show and do a whole show that goes into detail. Do you want to just take 30 seconds and introduce yourself and share your thoughts? But we need to go fast because we're short on time.
My name's Amelia. I am from Arizona. Well, I was born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I reside in Arizona currently. And I've always been a huge activist and youth-oriented my whole life. And I have always known that this is an issue because I've been privy of experiences of seeing things firsthand. And I'm just the type of person, I liked what you were saying, if we don't speak out, we are just as bad as them. And one of my favorite quotes is, if you stay neutral in situations of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. And I don't want secondhand knowledge. I want to take action. So yes, I've actually went to the border and been in situations where my experience in the art of storytelling is the truth that they're scared of.
I completely agree. Let's connect after the show. I'd like to talk to you more because I think we could do a whole episode on some of your experiences. Thank you for calling in. It is an absolutely critical topic that we all need to be talking about. We all need to realize that this isn't just happening in foreign countries. It's not just a Hispanic or a Mexican or South American problem. It's not an American problem. It is a worldwide problem, and it hits close to home. I know, Deanna, you said that this hits very close to home. You haven't been actually trafficked yourself, but you've had experiences where this is very personal to you. I don't know if you want to share anything more about that, what you mean by that. I know we've talked a little bit, and it's a very sensitive subject, but anything you wanted to tell about your story that helps shed some light on what you're referring to?
It was a very difficult topic for me to speak sometimes. I have healed in a way, but it's still, difficult to speak about this, especially knowing that pornography is a big problem for us as a society. And then it's so normal now, and it's okay now. Everybody talks about it like it's just
accepted.
It's accepted, and everybody's okay with it. So I was exposed to these things a very young age by family, my cousin when I was young, and he tried to touch me a couple times. I was very young, very little. I was probably like 7 or 8. Imagine that. I know, I knew back then that it was wrong. I was wrong, and I came up to my parents and my mother. And she was very involved into church, and then same thing with my grandma, that side of the family. And it was wrong. It was wrong to speak up. It was wrong to say something, And then we went through my grandma husband. We used to call him a grandpa, and it did the same thing to me. I seen my friends too, my little friends. They went through a lot of things. A couple times. Me and my sister got to be more careful who we talk to, and we started to protect each other in a way. There was two times as we were walking back home from school, there is a car approaching us, asking for directions. And then my parents didn't tell me, hey, don't talk to strangers. Back then was like, nobody was talking about it, So we always get there to help. So we have to help this guy that is asking for directions. We get close to the car, and then hey, well, you guys have an idea? I'm looking for this address. So we get close to the car. The guy had his pants off, and he tried to pull my hand. And,
wow.
It was when you have that angel, protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
My sister came and grabbed me. I tried to, kick him, and we got off that. We got so away. Yeah, we got so mad, and we grabbed rocks, and the neighbors came up, and they heard us because we were screaming at him and throwing rocks at the car, and it was like one of those things that, as a little kid, like in a way we got saved, because who knows what this guy wanted to do with me or my sister. Yeah. She went through the same thing we did. We went through this 2 times by ourselves, no parents around. These people target kids with no supervision.
They do. And, you bring out a couple of important points. Sometimes it happens from a stranger, but more often the grooming, the pornography, the abuse, it happens from someone we know. Right? It can be a family member. It can be a neighbor or somebody, a teacher even, or a coach or something. And so it's such a pervasive problem. And I think one of the most important things is that we first identify that it is a problem, realize that it is a slippery slope. We've all been introduced to pornography. I think if you say you haven't, you're lying, or you're lying. Homeschooled, living in Alaska or somewhere, right? And you never see people, but it's so prevalent today. It's so easy to find pornography. We used to have to go to a Circle K and get someone to give us a magazine from behind the counter. Not today. You can pull it up on your phone. And Matt Osborne and I, last week in our show, he's the chief operating officer for Operation Underground Railroad. We talked a little bit about how that first introduction to pornography is the beginning of this problem. We need to tackle it and talk about it and address it on both ends, trying to help protect trafficked children, but help stem the tide of pornography in the world today. It is not okay. Everybody argues expression, freedom of expression, and so forth and so on. But the problem is, it's like a drug. You can't get enough. And then you want more, and you want heavier drugs. And that's where people get into more and more, graphic pornography, violence, teens and then children, and then pretty soon you're traveling to some foreign country on a sex excursion, right? It doesn't, you don't get to that point if you don't start on the other end. Sorry, this is a soapbox for me, but
the problem I find as a mother, speaking about children and how we think our kids don't watch this stuff because I'm always watching after them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you find out that at school, at a very young age, they're already giving the children all this education that it shouldn't mean at school. This starts at home. You as a parent have the right and the obligation to do this, right?
You do.
School is to educate your kids about matters that are going to help them and the outside world. But you as a parent not worrying or taking care of these things, we as women, we're educating men. This is the majority of people that do child trafficking and child pornography are men. Like it or not, women are involved, but it's not the same.
Right.
The statistics don't show the same levels, right? So
Sure.
What are we doing as mothers with our sons? What are we teaching them? What are we talking to them about? Pornography. And it's a big problem. Like you said, it's a drug. They start with a little bit, you see it on TV shows, you see it on movies, even PG-13, PG. There's some kind of soft porn, we call it. That's soft porn because they show, we already have, we're smart. We don't have to see the scenes to understand what's going to happen. But They still show you. Why? Because it gets you a little bit of this dopamine. And then the child is going to get interested on this because it's going to feel like, wait, what is that? They're going to go look in their phones. All kids have phones with internet now. And your parents are working. So Google it, and it's completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. There is pictures, there's GIFs, the GIFs thingies, and there's videos. So you don't need to sign up. You don't need to be over 18 anymore. You don't need none of that. So they're exposed.
I know.
Completely.
They are.
It's so
exposed.
bad. Sorry, Patrick. I had to share with you this before we run out of time. Last night, I was tagged on this video. One of my friends sent me this video. There is, I think it's Holland or Poland. They have children, kindergarten children, opening mystery boxes with adult toys. These babies have their face, they have a mask, and they have no idea what these things are. And they put it on their hair, and they're making it so normal. And it's ridiculous. Your head goes and spins, and what are you doing? What are we doing to our children? What is wrong with us?
I completely agree. Unfortunately, we are at the end of our show, Diana. We could talk about this for hours, I know.
Yeah, we can go on.
I do want to put a quick plug. We're doing a concert here in Las Vegas coming up on November 11th, Veterans Day. It's going to be focused on freedom, a freedom extravaganza with a number of different artists involved. Diana and Ethan are helping us out. We'll keep giving you shout outs for it in the weeks to come. We're having a special guest next week, Jessica Mass, who's over Operation Underground Railroad's aftercare service worldwide. This is an important topic. We're going to continue talking about it over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And Diana, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate you being here. I wish we could go longer. Unfortunately, we're up against. We can go
hours and hours. Yeah.
But it's so important, and your voice is appreciated. And we will continue the conversation because it's important. So thanks for being on Finding Certainty. Let's help create more certainty for our children. And let's start helping all of us with awareness, with funding, with protecting our kids, watching out even for the other kids on the playground if we have to, because their parents are across the way. But thanks for being on the call, Diana. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and like always, I'm very, very, very blessed to have you as a friend.
I feel the same. Es lo mismo. Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode of Finding Certainty. We hope you've gained some more insight into how to create more certainty in your own business or nonprofit. Join us next week for another taste of the Certainty Experience. Until then, we wish you greater certainty in all that you do.